Let's dive right in. This is going to be so much fun. And tonight I am sharing approximately 75 pieces of artwork that I created to support our brand new March-April idea book that launches here on March 1st in just a few days. And I'm so excited to share all the components and all of the great things that we have up and coming. Now, I can't go into the depth that I want to go into because I actually did a run through showing product and my philosophy and all of the artwork and how I changed it and what I did. And it ended up being over 3 hours, and no one wants to sit here for 3 hours, right? We just want to see the pretties. So I'm going to make this mostly a share of artwork. And then I have 14 process videos to support the product and the artwork, and full process videos on how to create some of the things that I'm sharing tonight. So be sure to hit subscribe and the notifications bell so you don't miss any of those. But let's start with the cover first of all. The cover, of course, has our close to my heart maker, Jema Malmy, on the cover, and her husband. I believe they were vacationing, and she is our resident expert on social media. And so you can check out Jema's channel, as she is fabulous. So here we have that cover artwork that I recreated. My full process video for this goes over all the sizes and how to create this, as well as a companion page, but it has some great background stamping. It uses the pattern paper and the sticker sheet, as well as the new collection that you'll be learning about here in a minute called Let's Go Anywhere, and it uses the scrapbooking stamp and thin cuts. So this passport, the globe, and let's see, I think just those two items on this page are from that set. Now, I do show you how to create this triangle and another triangle, a layered triangle, using only one sheet of paper in my process video as well. So I created a really simple companion page to go with it and tried to tie them together with similar techniques. So again, that background stamping, some distressing and some inking, some stitch lines with a black Le Pen, some of those thin cuts from the Let's Go Anywhere stamp and thin cut set to document a girl's trip to Maine. The next one, as we open up the catalog, are our signature cut above kits, but I definitely want to make sure you check out our maker and our VIP opportunities. I have extra perks for my makers and my VIPs, and also you earn 15% kickback on anything that you order as product credit with no minimum purchase required, which is amazing. Our VIPs love our VIP program. I'll link how to do that in the description if you want to check that out. Our Operation Smile stamp set gives $7 for each purchase of this stamp set to Operation Smile that helps children with cleft lip and palate. And as a speech pathologist, that is near and dear to my heart. So I hope that you'll donate, round up, or purchase that stamp set to help children all over the world. Our cut above kits is where we're starting. I do have a P, so that means I have a full process video for both of these layouts where I show how to elevate our pre-cut, pre-designed cut above kits that are so simple and easy to put together. Now you can put those together without elevating anything. All you need is adhesive, but if you want elevation tips, you can check out my video in the link where I did about 4 little tiny elevations on this one. This is my granddaughters with their bunnies, Fluffernutter and Peaches. I love how the cut above make you look like you did a lot more work than you really did. On that video, process video that I just mentioned and linked in the comments, I also do a video on how, I believe 20 different elevation techniques for simple layouts. This is a super simple layout, and I have some elevation techniques, all different kinds of techniques that you can see here, some inking, some texture, some journal pen, some gel pen, some popping matting up, some photo matting, some page matting, all kinds of wonderful things in that video. Okay, let's see what's up next. Up next we have Honey Bunny. Honey Bunny is the first featured collection, and we have a scrapbooking workshop kit, a card making workshop kit, and then we have some separates such as pattern paper and sticker sheets and some gems and things like that. So let's take a look at the featured art. I have a P there, which means I do have a full process video. In my process videos that are going to be slowly trickling out in this next month, I have full dimensions and measurements and all of the marker colors or ink colors. I have everything that you need to know in those process videos. So if there's a layout that you're interested in recreating, you can check those out and it will help you fill in all of the blanks. This is such a quick and easy layout. It was so pretty. I love Honey Bunny. It uses the pattern paper and sticker sheet for Honey Bunny, a few of the dots, and then it uses the Honey Bunny scrapbooking stamp and thin cut. That's where these little bunnies come from. And then popping up some banner and some basic strips in the background. And this is my grandson, Waylon James, on his first Easter. Now I did change it up a little bit. I didn't put the extra photo on there, and I did flip this pattern since it was for my grandson. And on the back of this pink pattern is this yellow dot. So I did flip that pattern around and just make a slightly tiny little alteration. Here is the very simple companion page that I created. Again, all of those measurements and things are available in the process video, but I loved just carrying over those stamp and thin cuts, and I talk about how I markered those and the treatments that I used on those in the process video. Okay, up next we have a couple cards that are the featured cards for Honey Bunny. And so I'll show those to you here. And these feature the Honey Bunny card making stamp and thin cut set. So in the Honey Bunny card making stamp and thin cut set, it has this really beautiful wreath. And this wreath was made by paper piecing, stamping it twice, once on limeade and once on peach, doing a few marker techniques and some shimmer brush techniques, some layering of some paper and some dots with a white gel pen. Here we also have the florals from that set, which were tri-blend markered, and then we have a few stickers that were from the Honey Bunny collection to complete the cards. So pretty. Next we have, let's see here. This is just showing that collection in full force. So the sticker sheet, the 12 by 12 sticker sheet, the pattern paper, coordinating cardstock, and the dots. It also has a digital art collection. The digital art collection has pre-cut layouts that you can just run through your silhouette or your Cricut and be able to create them as a whole, or you can separate all of those cute images and you can make those separately. Those who follow me know that I am an overlay queen. I love Cricut overlays. I love stitched backgrounds. I love scalloped borders. I love all kinds of backgrounds on my pages. And this is one of the new backgrounds that comes in the Honey Bunny collection. And you will definitely be seeing it in some of my up and coming workshops that will be coming out this next month. All right, here we go. Now we are looking again at that Honey Bunny card making stamp and thin cuts that I showed you in the previous cards. Has this little wreath. Everything here that's highlighted is a thin cut. The others are stamped. We also have some featured art using the Honey Bunny scrapbooking stamp and thin cuts, which I also highlighted in the featured artwork as well. So let's take a look at those. And I do see a P for process video. So that means I have a process video for that that shows all the measurements and how I created that from start to finish. So let's first take a look at the card making stamp and thin cut cards. Love them. So this one works with uneven strips, does a little bit of gel pen, a little bit of inking, some ink rubbing with a blending brush on the flowers with a tiny bit of tri-blend markering. So pretty. Here's a pretty layered card that has quite a few layers using the Honey Bunny paper. There's that wreath again with a little bit of ink blending on the flowers, adding a little bit of bling to that. Some banner stickers that are left over from the sticker sheet. This is a little sticker from the sticker sheet, and some tearing and layering of paper. Really pretty Honey Bunny cards. I loved this layout. It's such a simple layout, and it's really layers upon layers of paper. So I created this one for 3 of my 8 granddaughters. These are my daughter's daughters, and this was them getting ready to go to church on Easter or Easter week. So we have 3 background layers with some gutted frames of the Honey Bunny paper, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more layers on top of that with some distressing, tearing, and bending. And then the bunnies here, the eggs, and the Easter and the florals are created out of the scrapbooking stamp and thin cut set. And then, of course, in my process video, I've gone over all of the markering in great detail and how I got them to look so smooth and cute. Really, really cute collection, the Honey Bunny collection. All right, moving into the scrapbooking workshop. So Close to My Heart puts out a scrapbooking workshop with each of the featured collections. And the featured collection, of course, of March is going to be Honey Bunny, and the featured collection of April we will be getting to is the cover collection called Let's Go Anywhere, which would be this collection. And so there will be a workshop kit for both of those. Each of those workshops has 6 pages each, and the instructions come right in them. Now, my paper crafters who follow me know that I do 2 additional workshops with each line. I do a Simple Scrap and workshop and a Sparkle and Shine workshop. My Simply Scrap and workshops are 10 pages, and they use the paper pack and sticker sheet, the bling that comes with that line, and cardstock. My Sparkle and Shine are 12 pages, and they use this very same workshop kit as the base ingredients. I just use these materials in a different way to create completely different pages. So often I absolutely love the corporate workshop, and it's ready to go. You order it, you get it in a kit, you have all the parts and pieces, which include the pattern paper and sticker sheet, the cardstock, die cuts or punch outs, exclusive pattern paper, 2 to 4 additional sheets, and then of course the sticker sheet and the bling, and you can get the kit with or without page protectors. Now, this is ready to go. You can pull the instructions out. It always incorporates some kind of technique, and you can put those together, and they're lovely, lovely workshops, or you can choose from either one of the additional workshops that I create later on in the month. So let's take a look at this workshop, the Honey Bunny workshop. Okay, so here is layout number 1. I used this for my grandkids, of course, and they have a couple little ducks that I brought them named Cheese and Quackers. And so I documented that. And the technique that they're teaching with the workshop in March, Honey Bunny workshop in March, is paper weaving and paper texturing. So this is a die cut that came right in the kit that you create the circle, these strips underneath the circle overlay, and you do some tearing and some layering, and then you add that to some exclusive cloud paper, and then you have all of these little die cut pieces that are punch outs that come right in the kit that you can add to the page. They carry that over with the second page of the layout with paper tearing and layering here, and you can actually tuck your photos into the layers. You have some stickers here, and then you also have some punch out die cuts that come right in the kit. It's really, really cute. Layout number 2, here we have Waylon James at his Easter. He's over at Grandma's and he's coloring eggs, and he couldn't be any cuter. This is a pretty simple, easy layout to put together, doing some stitching with a black Le Pen, doing some paper strips, vertical paper strips, adding some of the die cuts or punch outs. These are die cuts here or punch outs, and then stickers. So simple and so easy. Not a ton of added technique there. Very easy to put together. The next layout is also a circle layout that has a really interesting paper weaving technique. So you weave the paper in and out on vertical and horizontal weaves. I don't know if you can see the weave in there, and it is so interesting. And then you decorate on top of the weave. There's weaving on this page and weaving on this page, and it's super interesting technique. The backgrounds look like they're whitewashed or watercolor washed, and they are pre-printed exclusive extra pattern paper that come right in the kit. Now I opted to split mine apart and use them as single layouts, and this is my grandson Carter Kirk, and we had some old children's rubber boots that no longer fit, and we planted tulips in the rubber boots, and his little smirky grin was so cute. And then of course around springtime we get all of our springtime babies, and that isn't the only thing that's new at Easter. There's so many Easter blessings. Okay, what a great workshop this round. I really love it. Let's move on now to the Honey Bunny card making workshop. Now our card making workshops come with the pattern paper, cardstock, card bases and envelopes, an exclusive stamp set, and the bling that is needed to create 16 cards. There are always 3 cards that are regular 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and 1 card that is a slim line 3 1/2 by 8 1/2, and they create 16 cards altogether, 4, 4, 4, and 4. So let me show you those cards. Okay, so I actually did change up the cards ever so slightly and make some variations, and I'll show you those super quickly. So we have the cards exactly as they are shown in the directions in the kit, and it has this exclusive stamp and thin cut set that creates this gorgeous little design on top of the butterfly. And then of course our cardstocks are two-sided, and so if you wanted to make a cardstock butterfly, you can do 1 set of the thin cuts on the dark side of the cardstock and 1 on the light side to really create unique patterns. So what I did with each of the cards in this set is I tried to show different ways that you could slowly and gradually add to those or change those up a bit. So here's how the original is supposed to be. Here's adding just a tiny bit of inking around the sentiment. Here's adding inking around the sentiment and behind the butterfly. Here's adding inking around both and adding some extra stamping and some extra bling. Plus these two flip the pattern to the other side. The back of this pattern is the honey butter, this is a tongue twister, the honey bunny pattern paper. There we go. All right, the next card in the set, I did the same thing. So there are 4 cards, and so this is how the original. This is adding a little bit of inking and tri-blend markering. This is adding inking, tri-blend markering, and then doodling with the tri-blend marker. And the excuse me, this is adding all of those things plus some little butterfly lines. Okay, the next card in the kit, just how the instructions say, adding a little doodling and some tri-blend markering, adding a little doodling, tri-blend markering, flipping the pattern over and doing additional markering, adding some blending with a blending brush of some ink, more markering, more doodling, and more stamping. I ended up actually liking the more basic ones of this better and then not flipping it, but it's always nice to experiment and just give different methods a try and just see which ones you like better. These are the slim lines, and so same thing. The original, adding some inking and flipping the pattern, and then adding some rubbing and blending in the background and some doodling with the marker, and I did the same thing on that one. So cute. I love the design on those butterflies. It really makes it so unique and just really, really pretty. Okay, wow, are we all ready to the next line? We are at Let's Go Anywhere, which is the featured collection of April. So let me grab that. Okay, so fun. I think this is such a great color scheme. Could be travel, could be masculine, could be outdoor. I really, really love it. So let's start out with the feature here, and this is actually this is Melissa Miner, who has a YouTube channel called Cards by Melissa. She used to be a close to my heart maker, and now she dabbles in a little bit of everything on her YouTube channel, and she always has great cards and great pages and great tips, so you should check out her channel. She is now a VIP, and she is loving the VIP program, so you can be a maker or you can be a VIP, and the VIP spot is a great fit for her. Okay, all right, so this is such a fun technique, the paper tearing, where the paper is being torn away and you see all the layers in the background. I did do a full process video on this with all the dimensions and the detail on how I did that. And let me just back up and see if I missed any telling you about any process videos. Nope, I did a process video there. Okay, and so we have some paper distressing on all of the ends with a scissor. We also have inking on the edges. There is the scrapbooking stamp and thin cut, so the passport, the globe, the suitcase are all part of that set. We have a little background stamping here on the journal circle, some second generation stamping. Here's some of those, some black die cuts. So this set has the option to get craft and black die cuts in an embellishment set. Here we have stickers, paper tearing. Let's see, here's some more of those die cuts. So fun. A little bit of border stamping down here with some sage ink and some arrows. And I absolutely loved recreating this. Now I also created a companion page, a very simple companion page, just so that I could get more photo opportunities on it. This happens to be an annual girl trip, and we went to Maine, and we went on a lobster boat, and we caught our dinner. When we got off the boat, they handed us our lobster, and we walked down the sidewalk to a little place, and the little place cooked them for us. So it was hilarious and fun. So I could have continued on with this pattern and then tried to make the page on that side, or I could have made my focal page be on the right and then do a regular page over here and not have to worry about how to continue that theme. But what I did instead is I made a few little patchy areas where the paper was breaking away, and you could see the pattern and the cardstock just like you can over here. And I love how that turned out, because I was able to get a collage of photos, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 photos over here, and tell my story, but still carry over with this theme. And I was thinking more like here, 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 to draw your eye across in a visual triangle. So fun. Be sure to check out that process video. I believe I have 14 process videos to go along with the artwork that I'm sharing here tonight. So be sure to hit subscribe and the notifications bell so you don't miss any of those process videos. So here we are with the continuation. So now we have the card making stamp set. And it actually has the option to have a thin cut with it as well. So let me see if I can find that really quickly for you. It would be card making, scrapbooking. So it has this big earth set in the heart and then another little heart thin cut. I just got the stamp set for that, but these are the cards that I created with those. Oh, no, they are not. These are the cards that I created with those. So again, some distressing of the edges to make it look more vintage or more worn. We have distressing on the edges of the earth or the earth globe. These are a few little stickers from the sticker sheet and then some of those die cuts. This one here is upside down banners, and then the sentiment is popped up here. We have a zip strip, we have a little stamping right here. This is a sticker, this is a sticker, and those two are stickers. I love the swirly in the stamp set. I really love that design, and there's some really delicate and beautiful fonts in this collection. And here we go. Now it's showing you that whole collection again. So we have the sticker sheet, the paper pack, the coordinating cardstock. These are those die cuts I was talking about. You can get craft and black all in one package, and they're the harder, thicker die cuts that you punch out. Here is the digital collection. I didn't actually cut any of this one for you, but there is a really cool overlay and so many travel icons. So our digital collections usually come with ready-made layouts or ready-made layouts and cards, and then you can also get the separate pieces as well. Okay, and those are good for cutting machines. They are SVGs, so they can be uploaded to a Silhouette or a Cricut or other cutting machines. Okay, so here we go with the Let's Go Anywhere card making stamp and thin cuts. This is the one that I was getting you mixed up with on the last one. I did change these ever so slightly. This one was a little busy. I love the hero travel pattern in the background, but that with the stripes was too much for my eyes. And then of course all the different colors in it. And so all I really did is reverse the pattern. So this busy pattern here is the passports on the back, and then this stripe pattern is the green on the back. And so I just flipped those to just sort of tone it down just a tiny bit, and that made all the difference to me. Some distressed edging there, and here's that loop-de-loop with that stitching and that beautiful font. I just love that so much. This one I did change ever so slightly just because I've already fallen in love with the periwinkle pattern and I gravitate toward blues. But if you gravitate toward green, you can totally leave it the same. I just changed the green map pattern to the blue stripe pattern. I changed the red words to sapphire words, and then I think the green arrow to the gray arrow, and that is really the only changes I made on that simple card, and cute. Okay, we are cruising. So much for my dress rehearsal being 3 hours. I'm trying to clip along here. I love giving the supportive artwork. I always have done sneak peeks in my private groups, but I've never done a reveal or sneak peeks or a what did I buy or how did they do that on YouTube. And I would love to go into great depth on all of the artwork, but that will be what the process videos are for. So here, this one has a process video. So let's see, I might have these a little bit out of order. Here we go. Here it is. And so I love this, and I did make a companion page because it's such an easy layout to reduplicate, and it uses the Let's Go Anywhere scrapbooking stamp and thin cut set again. We're seeing that quite a bit, but basically it's paper strips and paper layering. They've added texture by tearing. They've created their own pattern out of this stamp set here. And I love that swirly background by stamping. So I just stamped that in toffee, rubbed toffee all the way around the edges, and this is created from the stamp set. So is this, and so is this, and then these two in here are stickers. Made a hand tag by hand by snipping off the corners. This is out of shortbread, and then made an oversized tag to hold a 4x4 photo. And then we have some of those Stampin' Thin Cuts. So this one, and this one are a thin cut. This little section is just made out of cardstock with some stamping and inking. And then this is the most ridiculous photo in the entire world, but we take an annual girl trip, and this was one of our annual girl trips. There's 4 of us that have been friends for over 40 years, and we thought it'd be so cute to do that. Oh, there's a lighthouse in the background, and let's do a jump. And we had a perfect stranger taking our photo, and we were all trying to jump, but our feet weren't really moving the ground. So I guess cheerleaders at 15 are not the greatest cheerleaders at 50 something. So I had to do a whole story about how ridiculous we were jumping. I even have all of my hair covering my face from one jump, and we're all caught in really weird positions all the way through. We had these silly matching boots, and I just cracked up. We are truly old ladies. I like the little technique here where the corner is rolled back. So I just put a piece of paper underneath there and rolled back the corner. And then on the companion page, I kept it super simple, same layout, just used a different pattern and rolled an opposite corner, and then tried to stay true to the original with adding some handmade tags, and did some stitching with the black Le Pen, added a thin cut here, and the rest of those are stickers. So easy and so fun, and you can check out the process video for that. All of these process videos I'm referring to are done. I'm just releasing them a couple at a time because no one has that kind of time to watch all of them at once. So, and we have a 2-month cycle, so there is time. But you can be looking for any of those that I say that I have process videos for. So here is the Let's Go Anywhere scrapbooking kit. Love it. I absolutely love it. I did make a few changes to it. But it is 6 pages, and again, same as the Honey Bunny, you get the pattern paper and sticker sheet, some coordinating cardstock, some exclusive pattern papers and cardstocks. You get some punch out die cuts, and then you get a set of the craft and black die cuts. And what's different about this kit this time is there is a stamp set, an exclusive stamp set that comes in the kit, and it's a cool map stamp. And I will be showing you some things that I did with that. So let's go ahead and take a look at this, and I will talk just a minute or so about my changes. And the changes are only completely personal preference. I love the workshop, and I love our workshop kits. The workshop kits are always the base or the foundation for my Sparkle and Shine workshops, because that's how much I love these kits. You get so many pieces in these kits. It's incredible. I'm gonna wet my whistle, as my grandmother used to say. Take a little drink. Okay. So cool. These are punch out die cuts, these triangles, and then all of the zigzag pieces are punch outs as well. So I loved that element of the layout. I did need to change this to a horizontal photo. I didn't have another vertical photo to go there. And then though I love all of the bits, I felt like they were a little too separated. And then they did background stamping with that exclusive stamp set behind the title. I really wanted to use that stamp set, but I didn't feel comfortable just doing random stamping. And, you know, it takes a little bit of practice for things like that. And sometimes I do really well at that, but I wasn't quite loving just the the blobs of it in different places. And I don't mean that because somebody probably is looking at that and loving it, but it's just a personal preference. And so I wanted to use the stamp, but in a different way. And then I wanted to move the title down below so it was connecting the two photos instead of just kind of like up here, which left a space here that I needed to fill. So what I did is I continued with the theme of tags, but I stamped the map onto the tag, and that felt a little more controlled to me, where I could use that cool pattern, but then I could create these tags by hand and have a filler for right there, and then move the title and all of the little bits down here, and it made me feel a little more together. And then this is the exclusive background paper that I love that you can only get in the kit, and I wish we could get 100 sheets of that. I really love it. Added another handmade tag, and then just kind of fine-tuned the clusters. The clusters were kind of like trailing, which is a cute idea, but I just brought them a little bit back together so that they were a little bit more clustered this way, drawing your eye across the photos. Okay. All right. So the last layout in the series is... last layout in the series. Oh, no. Let's see. That was the first one. I'm so sorry. This one was a process video. This one is the workshop kit. Okay, so I'm going to go to this one. I did love this layout, and I feel like it is a super simple layout, and I just made some easy change ups here. So this, again, that really busy pattern, I love that pattern, but it's just a little bit too much on my eyes. And so I flipped it over, and even though this one is busy, it's more symmetrical, so it wasn't so overwhelming to have this busy pattern with a stripe, so what I did is I also toned down the stripe. So I flipped the pattern over to use the passport page. I flipped over the striped pattern to this more muted gray airplane paper, but then I felt like the toffee blended into the background, so I added a sapphire base to that, and I felt like that really popped it up. And then over on this side, I just added the sapphire strip and flipped these pattern papers also. And then I wanted to use the map again, but what they did with the map stamp is they just did the random stamping in different spots again. And I wanted it to be a little more safe and controlled for me. And so what I did is I created this photo mat banner. And so it's about the size as of a 4x6 photo, but I created a banner, stamped the map on there with periwinkle, and then distressed the edges, and then just consolidated the pieces that were off to the side into more of a title cluster, and then made clusters out of the other things. This I still kept kind of loose, but I really loved that better. I loved how that worked, and I love starting with the workshop kit as a jumping off point and then making them your own by changing the photos or changing the layouts or changing the patterns ever so slightly. Now don't laugh. I know my eyes are closed, and there is a story why they're closed. They're closed on purpose because I was told to close my eyes. And then the photo was taken. So you would just have to hear the story. But yes, it looks ridiculous. So I was visiting Maine and the Center for Telehealth because I'm a speech pathologist, and I was getting my telehealth certification a couple years prior to COVID, and my celebration was lobster dinner. And I was fascinated because South Dakota doesn't have an ocean. And so I love stuff like this. And anyway, when he brought my lobster out, he said, "Close your eyes. It's a surprise. It's here." And he snapped my photo, but then didn't get any other photos with me with my eyes open. So I'm documenting the story with my eyes closed. Loved this pattern with the larger strips going back and forth and incorporating the craft die cuts. Now, I had left the Wonder off of a previous layout because I just felt like it was getting busy. And so I added that over here, and I just changed the green to the blue. I just gravitate toward that blue, gray, brown scheme more so than having green and stripe and blue and so on. And so I kept everything else basically the same, just changed up the bits a little bit. I couldn't get the longer tags to work, so I didn't use those on here, but I love the way that turned out. And I think the amount of bits that you get in the scrapbooking workshop is incredible, how much you get. Okay, cruising right along. I believe we're moving on to cards now. So this is the card making kit, and this will not take long because I loved every single thing about it. I made all 16 cards, and I made those cards identical to the patterns in the card workshop. I changed the bling on one card ever so slightly, but all of them I love, love, love. Now, just as a reminder, you get the pattern paper, the cardstock, the card bases and envelopes, an exclusive stamp and thin cut set, and the bling for each of the card workshops. And each of the card workshops creates 16 cards. It creates 3 slim lines or 3 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 standard cards and 1 slim line times 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. This kit focused on paper leathering. So I'm going to show you this on this one first. So for paper leathering, you spritz water onto the paper, crumple up the paper, straighten and flatten the paper, and let it dry, and it makes it look like leather. It reminds me of like an old pirate map, but you get this great, the parts and pieces for this great compass, and I love the font in this. It's so beautiful and yet masculine, where everyone is screaming for masculine cards all the time. Here you go. This is so perfect. So it's time to celebrate 4 of those. Lots of distress inking. You are my true north. So a little bit of just tearing, basic strips, your sentiment, some ink blending with a blending brush, and those wood shapes with that compass, 4 of those. And then again, that paper leathering on the banner where you spritzed it with water and crumpled it up. A lot of distressing on the edges with toffee because that's just the outdoorsy thing to do. And then some stamping of the arrows here. And I love the sentiment with the stitched arrows. I love all the stitched arrows in this line. They're using stitched arrows and curved arrows that are stitched and curly stitching around fonts. It's so great. Here is the slimline card, and the only thing I changed on this is I put the 2 stars together. So we do background stamping on cardstock, 2 different pieces, and then we do the sentiment with some distressing and some inking. And they had location pointer, star, star, arrow. And I was like, what's your location? I'm trying to find you. Put the stars together. We found each other. And so I just put the stars together instead of apart, and I liked that better for some odd, weird reason. So totally personal preference. Moving on to season mix-ins, and there is a process video for this one, and so I will grab the next stack. But season mix-ins, if you're not familiar, are designed to go with both paper lines. There's 6 pattern papers that are 2-sided, so front and back, and you can see a close-up of what those patterns are. They can stand alone for projects, or you can add them to our 2 main lines. So these are designed to go with both Honey Bunny and Let's Go Anywhere, which is kind of amazing that you could add these to either one of those collections. Let me grab the artwork for this. We're kind of having to move stacks around here. I believe I counted at least 75 pieces of artwork. That doesn't count the duplicated cards in the kits. So it's awesome to be able to have artwork to support. Sometimes I just really love seeing the real deal. So this is such a cute and simple layout that incorporates the season mix-ins, but it also has pattern papers in it from the Honey Bunny. So we have Honey Bunny, Honey Bunny, Honey Bunny, and Honey Bunny. And then we have Let's Go Anywhere. And I think there's one more Let's Go Anywhere somewhere. The blue one. I'm not seeing it, and the rest are season mix-ins. So we have added a little bit, let me move this out of the way here. We've added a little bit of sea glass glitter paper, and then we have several layers of background paper, a little bit of black Le Pen journaling, a little bit of ink blending, and then all of those. Now on my process video, I sorted out all of the banners according to size and according to paper line to make it super easy to reduplicate, because sometimes it just takes a minute, doesn't it, to like go through a photo and figure out the sizes. But I love the bunny I added because he was left over from the Honey Bunny scrapbooking stamp set when I created Honey Bunny, and so I just threw that on the page even though it wasn't on the original. I really ended up loving that. My granddaughters, I brought them dresses back from Hawaii that they could wear at Easter. Okay, season mix-ins continues, but most of you are familiar with our catalog, know that we have highlight collections, and the catalog is color-coded, so you can see that we have like the sage color for stamps and thin cuts, we have the peach color for paper collections, we have like a paprika color or a desert rose color for all of the opportunities, like the maker opportunities and the VIP opportunities. And in this section, it just highlights all of those standalone stamps and thin cuts and some coloring and different projects. And I love looking at those and getting different ideas. Okay, so here we have the Spring Has Sprung stamp and thin cut set and the In Springtime. So we have Spring Has Sprung and the In Springtime stamp and thin cut. And this is so impressive that every single stamp in this set is a thin cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 thin cuts in one set. And these are so versatile. I love them. So you are going to see later on in the catalog that we have some new embossing folders that are 4x4 and some that have stencils that go with them. And we also have some shapes, some new stitched thin cut shapes that that you're going to see before we actually get to them. You're going to see them in different artwork. So when I talk about those, you're going to know what I'm talking about. So I do have a P here. So I have a process video for this layout. It is a single layout of Avery Jean and Hattie Elaine playing in the rain. I kept almost everything the same, except for I wanted my photo to be 5x7 because I don't because that's the capacity of a printer that I have to print at home. And so I made my circle a little smaller. I made my circle on the Cricut with some Cricut pen writing, and then a smaller periwinkle circle that I did the stamping of the beautiful memories, and then just added all of the icons from the Stamp and Thin Cut set. And I did actually add some old stitched labels from my stash just to have the title be kind of on a base, and then I colored everything with tri-blend marker. I really love how this turned out. This is a season mix-in paper, and it's actually used in other layouts, but there's only one sheet per pack. So if you want to use this pattern again, you're going to definitely want to pick up an extra pack. Let's take a look at the cards that go with this set. And so again, here's the little stitched die cut shapes, and it's a huge set. In fact, I have it right here. I wasn't going to show specific product because this is getting so long, but this is all of them. They're kind of a mess. I love how these are arrows, stitched arrows, but they make cute little houses. You can make them into cute little houses, but there's banners, there's arrows, there's flowers, there's circles, there's hearts, there's little tabs, and they're all stitched. I love this set. And anyway, I think it's just going to be a huge hit, but this little scalloped stitch frame is part of that. And our new 4x4 floral embossing folder is part of this as well. Super simple card. Here are some of those butterflies from the Stampin' Thin Cut, and this is from those new stitch die cuts, this little circle. Really cute one. The slimline, I did change up the slimline a little bit. This was a limeade piece that just had the ladybug stamped on it, and I wanted them to stand out a little bit more, and so I did those on thin cuts and colored those. And then the umbrella is paper pieced, so it's stamped on the Season Mix-In pattern paper once, and thin cut, and then also on white so that you can pop that pattern up on white. And then the only other thing I added to that card was a cloud. And then I colored the boots a little differently and just made them a little bit more brighter. Okay, so that is those two sets there. Super darling. I love that set. Okay. So here we go. We're getting there. We're cruising right along. Oh, yes. The reason for the season. So here's a P for a process video. And so I love these. I just, I have Easter stamps, but I still just can't pass them up, and this is gorgeous. You're going to see something I created with this, but we have Because of Easter stamp and thin cuts up here. We have the springtime bunnies, which are adorable, and then Easter Sunday, which is absolutely gorgeous. And then a super simple but beautiful layout. Let's go ahead and start with the cards. I didn't change these up. I loved the way they were. The only thing, let's see, it seems like there was maybe one thing. I didn't have the same leftover stickers from Honey Bunny, so my little heart stickers are a different color, but other than that, I didn't change them up. So we have some rubbing of Seabrook ink in the background, and then the stenciling with our new embossing folder. This one has stenciling with that new embossing folder also, and then coloring with tri-blend marker, and then stamping of that upper portion. This is the floral stencil that goes with the floral embossing folder that is stenciled in the background, and then the bunnies are doubled up. This is two thin cuts, and then adding the leftover Easter eggs from Honey Bunny. Super, super cute. Okay, next, the layout that I said I do have a process video, and you're probably looking at it and thinking, why do you need a process video? It's so stinking simple, and you're correct. It is really, really simple, but sometimes it's nice to have someone figure out the details and the measurements and the marker colors for you. So again, some of that stenciling and then stamping directly onto the background page. Basic strips. This is a sticker that came right off the sticker sheet, and so is this, and then some banner stickers as well as cardstock. And then here is that Easter Sunday die cut stamp set, and then fussy cut, and it's so, so pretty. And I colored that with a coral marker, and then I took a 1-inch circle punch to make all of these circles. I believe they probably used a little bit bigger than a 1-inch punch because they fit 5 and I was able to fit 6, but I also probably maybe put a larger photo mat. I'm not quite sure, but it was so simple and easy. This is my little granddaughter Hattie Elaine. Okay, moving right along. Okay, we have some new borders, and then also the garden eggs, which are gorgeous. Garden egg stamp and thin cut set, and garden park borders stamp and thin cut set. So let's take a look at the artwork. I did change these up ever so slightly. On this one, the only thing that I changed up is number 1, I forgot to put the white stitching with the white gel pen. My coloring is slightly different, and then I added clear gems instead of the blue gems, and then I added a corded coordinating green zip strip instead of the pink, and I just kind of kept it all a little bit more one tone with the greens. This one I did exactly as it is shown, and there's a little bit of yellow stenciling with that floral stencil in the background, and then the rest are borders, and it looks like I have a nice long hair on there. Embarrassing. And so super simple, just adding your borders to that, and it uses the season mix-ins again. This one I created almost identical. The only thing that I did is I wanted to keep with sage and purple and not add in additional colors. So instead of the yellow here, I used another green pattern paper, and then let's see, instead of wisteria, I used periwinkle so that it was tone on tone. That was all. And then this one I did change because this pattern here was just a little bit too busy for me, and so I sort of toned it down to 2 colors. So I used periwinkle zip strip instead of the bunny zip strip. I used the gingham season mix-ins instead of the leaf pattern, and then I used honey butter in the background, and then the honey butter pattern. There's that dot stencil again in periwinkle. Easy peasy, yay. All right, we are getting close. Okay, so now this one is the Happy Snail Trails, and I love the mail. You've got mail, happy mail, snail mail. I love that. And of course this, I knew right away that I had to have that because of this large vase, and it's called Heartfelt Flowers Stamp. So let's take a look at those here. I did change up a couple things to just keep the color families together, and I know I don't know, maybe I'm weird about that, but sometimes it's hard for me to reconcile if there's too many colors because they're busy enough as it is. All right, so our coordinating colors are Desert Rose and Peach, and so pretty. I basically kept it almost identical with the splatters and everything. I just changed this pattern to the peach pattern in the pack. Okay. All right, and then this one, so stinking cute, made it look like a postcard. And then the only thing that I did differently, instead of having purple, green, desert rose, and peach, I took the wisteria and the periwinkle out and just stayed with the peaches and the greens. And I really liked that a lot better. And then this, those die cuts that still haven't shown up that are in the catalog, the stitched die cuts. There's a stitched circle, so I use that stitched circle to create the circles and then also to create those half circles. So here's those circles. It's one die cut in half. Then I use the same circles to cut the holes, and then I filled in with the Happy Snail Mail die cuts that are colored with tri-blend marker. Love this one so much. It's so beautiful. I kept everything exactly the same. I just colored with tri-blend markers. The vase is paper pieced. It's stamped once on the peach pattern and then once on white, and it's fussy cut and put together so that it looks like a patterned vase. Love it so much. Okay, we have some hand stamps. We have heart hand, we have a holding pinkies hand, we have a hand in hand, and we have a baby grip. And I just chose to make one as a sample. Number one, I think because I was getting really tired at the end here. I've loved every second of it though. Okay, so basically lots of distressing, rubbing of ink on the edges, rubbing of the scissors on the edges and splattering, and then doing shimmer brush and inking. Very basic card, but very cute. And I just chose this one because Close to My Heart uses the heart hands, and so I could relate to that one. Okay, so sometimes Close to My Heart will use 6x8 so that they can fit more samples on a page because they only have so much catalog space. But we have Captured Happiness stamp set, and here's those decorative shaped thin cuts that have been used throughout the whole catalog. So the circles, the hearts, the scallops, the odd shape there, the arrows that look like houses, the flower, the label or the banners and the tab, and they're all stitched. They're amazing. And here's just some more sentiments that you can use with that. I do have a process video. I chose to make only one and do some elevations with it and just add more of these to it to really give it a little bit more pizzazz. These are great base layouts to have a jumping off point. I love those base layouts to get you started. And so I chose the one in the upper left. And so this is a 6x8. So I altered the sizes, and I talk about that on the process video to fit a 12x12. I added this pattern paper in here instead of cardstock, and I changed the sentiment and stamped that sentiment on. And then literally everything else is the same except for I added the periwinkle photo mat, and then all of these here to decorate. So we have some of the hearts, the circles, the flowers, and some of these little sentiments fit right on the stitched circles, which worked out really, really well. And this is my granddaughter, Claire Adeline, on 100 days of school. And she borrowed my costumes, some costumes out of my costume box, and she decided that old is always grumpy. And I said, I don't think old is always grumpy. Grandma's happy. So cute. All right, we are so close to the end. Thank you for hanging with me, and be sure you hit subscribe and the notifications bell to get all of these process videos in more detail. Here's another one with a process video. Super simple, but some little technique in there. Love this one so much. So we have umbrella and boots in a previous one, but these are much larger, as you can see. And so I think it's going to be super popular. And there's that dot embossing folder and the stencil and the flower embossing folder and stencil that we talked about. And in the back is a striped, diagonal striped one as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the cards. I really, really, really love the cards as is. And so this first one, the only thing I changed is I added color to the florals. The umbrella was made by doing the embossing and then running sandpaper across. So stinking cute. This one I loved everything about it, and that was again embossed and then sandpapered. And then the only thing I added to the boots is a little bit of tri-blend marker to give it a different shade. Otherwise everything else is the same. And then this one I did everything the same except for coloring the bouquet. I added more color than what was in the original. So we have stenciling, embossing, and then we have white gel pen around that slim line. So cute. I love it, love it, love it. This page was so easy, just paper strips, but each strip had a technique. So the sap, and then I changed, did I change the colors? Yeah, I used Seabrook instead of pine, and then I used the clouds in the background because it was an umbrella instead of the gingham, because we only get one sheet of gingham in the season mix-ins, so I actually didn't have any. But the clouds worked out great because they went with the boots and the umbrella. And then I pulled in the Seabrook because of the Seabrook background. So this is embossing folder and sanding paper. This is the dot stencil. This is the dot embossing folder and sandpaper, and this is white gel pen. So a little bit of treatment on each one of those. And then I added the inking onto the boots, paper pieced the umbrella, and then added banners that were left over from a sticker sheet. And there's one of those die cut, stitch die cuts for the journaling. And this is Hattie Elaine and Quackers, cheese and Quackers. Okay, this next one I love, 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 love. I was starting to get tired, I think, and I did not do anything with those two, but I probably will. We have the Pot of Gold stamp set, and we have the graduation stamp set, but I love, 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 love this. We are a fishing family. My son is an avid fisherman. My brother is an avid fisherman. I grew up fishing, and so I absolutely love this. There is a P, so there is a process video on this one where I give you all the dimensions and measurements. It's pretty easy to look at, but it was so fun. Tearing, stamping, distressing, creating the boat. You can do a boy or a girl in the boat. It's versatile. And then did some some gel pen again, some stamping. Love those little fish. Did a little bit of inking in the background. Oh my goodness, this is Waylon James and his daddy, which is my son. And then he is fishing with Uncle Jim, who is a fisherman at heart. Really, really cute. We are so close. I know I keep saying that. These are 6 by 6 pages samples. I didn't create 12 by 12s out of those, but they are to highlight the One Fine Day stamp set that goes with all of our pre-cut banners and tabs. And these are great to have to just quickly put sentiments on and add them to your pages. So you can see how they've done that here. They're really versatile and super quick and easy to use. Okay, I do have a process video for this one. I didn't have time to create the cards, although I love them. These are our new alphabet dies that create a shadow background. So it's one die, but one die creates the front and the back layer. And so you have the outline and the interior layer, and there's that stencil that I didn't see down there and I didn't get ordered. So yeah, super simple layout here. Again, those strips going down. Now, because I didn't order that striped embossing folder, I reached into my stash and found an embossing folder and used sandpaper. So they did the striped embossing, and sandpaper, and then they did the stitching with the white gel pen. Lots of little layers of paper in here and some strips, and then of course those layered alphabet letters, and we have the numbers as well. Super fun. My grandson Waylon and his mama and our other grandkids that I took to the zoo a year and a half or so ago to see the giraffes. Hooray, we have one more set of things to show, and we did it. So sorry that this got so long, but I'd love to hear from you and find out if you loved it, even though it was a little longer, having the supportive artwork, if that was helpful. And I hope you'll tune in to all the upcoming process videos that will be slowly filtering out the rest of the month. So here we have the stamp of the month for March, and it is called Just Chicken In. All of these are thin cuts. You have the option to get the stamp of the month without the thin cuts or with the thin cuts. VIPs can earn the stamp of the month for free, and regular customers can earn the stamp of the month for $5, and it's regularly $19.95. And I always offer a bonus kit for those who earn it and reach a certain minimum order. I send them a kit to create my stamp of the month cards. So I created slimline cards this month, and I did chicken wire from the Cricut on the background, and then I did, of course, the thin cuts. I did a little bit of white gloss spray, and then I did a little bit of stickles, and then a little bit of inking in the background and coloring with the blending brush and some tri-blend markers. So 4 that are similar, and then I had to do a funny one that says Just Chicken In. And that is the stamp of the month for March. I have not created yet with the stamp of the month for April, because April is a ways away, but I'm so excited about it as well. It's called Hedgehogs, and you can tell how adorable those are. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to March 1st, and I will link everything in the description as soon as the links can go live, which will be March 1st. Happy scrapping, everyone. Enjoy.